Hey everyone, Eric with the Diocese.City Office of Stewardship in our second in our series, our Lunch and Learn series. And today I have special guest José Germán-Gómez. He is the founder of the Northeast Earth Coalition in New Jersey. And I found him because I Googled who does community gardens well, and I came up with José. So, José, if you're ready, please take go ahead and start.
Thank you, Eric. It's my pleasure to share my knowledge with you and your community. I am the founder of the Northeast Earth Coalition. I started doing environmental work when I was 16 years old. My first restoration project happened in Puerto Rico, at the very beginning of the environmental movement. Uh, I wasn't aware that anything like that was going on in our planet, but I did it naturally, and very happy that I was pioneering about environmental restoration. That was my Eagle Scout project. I moved to New Jersey about 30 years ago and comes from Puerto Rico. And then over several years of doing environmental work at local level, I decided to found the Northeast Earth Coalition, which is a grassroots environmental and urban farming nonprofit organization. We are 100% volunteer driven, meaning that we don't receive public support. Our strength is in volunteer recruitment. Every year, we are bringing to the organization over 700, 850 volunteers per year. We build partnership with other organizations, and one example of this is the Community Food Network. It's a program where we provide food for people facing food insecurity, and we have 12 churches and synagogues participating in the program. We do a lot of community outreach to network with others and educate the community about environmental protection and different issues. We strongly believe in acting locally for a more sustainable world because every local action has global impact. People are very feeling overwhelmed with everything is going on with climate change and the environment across the planet. But if you do something locally, you'll be able to see it and see the benefit of what you are doing and the importance of connecting your little work in your township to the global scene. We also have a conference promoting sustainability, and that is the title of the conference, Acting Locally for a More Sustainable World. We also has been implementing pioneering programs like, the Montclair Backyard Habitat with the National Wildlife Federation. This program promotes the certification of the township as a wildlife habitat. There were several requirements to get a certification. This certification for us was the first in New Jersey, number 9 at national level, and triggered environmental movement in town, which transformed the community over the year. We also brought to the township Monarch USA, Mona City, USA. That program is, the purpose is to protect the butterfly, the monarch butterfly, creating habitat for them. Then we brought another program to the township, which is integrating Montclair as a part of the Northeast Pollinator Pathway. This is a regional project connecting Maine to Virginia. And our purpose was connecting New Jersey with New York. After that, then we brought recently another milestone project for our community. Yes, and the project is related to the Cersei Society, which protects insects and invertebrates. We were certified as a Bee City USA. The designation implied a long-term educational project. So we are required to produce events, educational events for children and adults, implement pollinator projects across the township, creating habitats for pollinators, um, other kind of events and other kind of activities. We build community because we believe that as a human beings and living in a society, we have some responsibility, and that is what we try to engage everyone. So don't stay at home, do something for your community, and let's build, a healthy and unified community in our town. And not only in our town, we started in Montclair. Now we are working in 13 communities across northern New Jersey. And here is an example of our volunteers. This is during the pandemic time, and this garden is Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, um, Mother Teresa garden. As you can see, it's a very diverse community. And one of the things is important for us, and I would consider is our cornerstone for success, is collaboration. We don't work alone. We network with others and create partnership and programs together, especially with the local government, community-based organization, houses of worship, public and private school, environmental groups, and food program. And an example of this kind of strategy is our community food network. We have 20 active partners in 5 towns, and 18 food distribution locations across the northern New Jersey. Those little free pantry are operating 24/7 and run by over 250 volunteers. The responsibility of the volunteer is to monitor the operation of the garden, conduct a food drive, and then restock the pantry. And this program distributed last year over 300,000 pounds of dried and canned food to support people in need. The program doesn't have any public funding. We relied on individual donations. And over the past 3 years, over 1 million pounds of food has been distributed, feeding over 5,000 people per year. We engage others with the same sense of building community. We have 6 community garden and partnerships with churches, schools, and organizations. Collaboration with local leaders who run community gardens and other environmental projects. We provide training to the community volunteers and student interns who help us to run the gardens. And we also incorporate youth who are procuring community work by the school. So the school required our students to have to perform community service in our township. All the community gardens products is donated to local food programs, family in need, 3 low-income senior residents, and a Catholic shelter for immigrants who are looking for asylum. Each request for help is an opportunity to bring people together for a common purpose. We never say no, and that is our bigger problem because we don't have a lot of money. But when people come to us because they trust us and we say, yes, we will be working with you. Acting locally for a more sustainable work, we advocate for better municipal environmental policies. The NEEC has proposed 5 ordinances to the Township of Montclair that has been approved over the years. The Community Gardens Ordinance, which is making community gardens an official program in the township. The Native Vegetation Ordinance, which the council of the township honored my name, my word, putting the ordinance name, putting into the ordinance my name. So it's the Native Vegetation José Germán-Gómez Ordinance. The backyard chicken ordinance, this allow people to have raise chicken in the backyard to be more sustainable. Some people in the township were very opposed to the idea, and they were trying to shut it down, but eventually we prevailed, and now every family in town is allowed to have backyard chickens. We also contributed to the ban of the gas-powered leaf blower, which is making more healthy the air in town. Now we didn't eliminate it, but it's now solar. It's now solar-powered um, uh, leaf blowers. And we also banned of pesticide in public space. We have implemented 4 major environmental projects in town, as I mentioned it before. Montclair was the first National Wildlife Federation community wildlife habitat in New Jersey. We introduced the pollinator pathway in Montclair and New Jersey. We made Montclair the second monarch USA city in New Jersey. And recently we brought to the township the Montclair Bee City, USA.
Huh. Wow.
Those are the places where we have projects, community gardens and composting programs and community food network. That is basically Montclair, our headquarters. But we also have projects, environmental projects in Bloomfield. We have Cedar Grove Community Food Network in Clifton. Community Food Network is Orange Community Food Network, Florham Park Environmental Project, 4 of them supported by the Northeast Earth Coalition. Mountain Lake is another community where we have been doing community organizing with a local church. Passaic Community Garden for immigrant women, and Richfield, we have doing community organizing in another church. Originally, we never thought that we were working with church, but that came naturally, and we never said no, and we are very happy to work with all the churches and synagogues that we are working. And this is one of our more rewarding purposes. We grow food to feed the poor. While you see in the right side, that is one single dead harvest from our Letterman Carmel Church. One day. And at the church, the picture with the children, that is our Letterman Carmel. You see how the church has integrated the children into the program to serve the community. So they are bringing donation to the pantry food, which is something beautiful because you are creating on them that social commitment to support people in need. The Northeast Earth Coalition has been recognized widely across the New Jersey. So we got the Latino in the top 10 most influential Latinos in New Jersey award in 2022. In 2023, we got the prestigious Roseberry Making a Difference award. In 2024, we got the Sylvia and Oscar Askeber award from New Jersey Peace Action. And we have been receiving almost for 5 years now the GuideStar Gold's Transparency Seal Award from GuideStar, a national watchdog for nonprofit. So let's move to the practical things, and this is how we can create a community garden and the step for creating a community garden. I'm using as a reference our Letterman Carmel Church garden, so because that is connecting you with the things with your network and what can be replicated in Kansas. So this is the garden in Pine Street, our Letterman Carmel church. Really small. You can see the church in the back. The first thing is procuring a piece of land. The second thing is an inspired team. And the third, the purpose to build community and improve the quality of life of people in need. That is the foundation of creating a community garden. And there are other practical steps. The garden must be fenced and deer proof and groundhog proof. The location must receive 6 hours of sunlight. and soil needs to be tested. Metal raised beds are more expensive, but better than wood in the long run. If you use wood, eventually in 5 years, you need to replace them, and that is another expense. At the end, using aluminum raised bed is very sustainable because eventually the dead that you don't want to run the garden anymore, they can be recycled. Installing installation of an irrigation system is very important. That saves time and efforts, and training the volunteers. And here is an inspirational project, a Mother Teresa community garden at our Lato Montclair Church. The garden used to be a section of the parking lot of the church, about, I would say, between 8 to 10 parking spaces. It was built in 21 hours at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. 45 days later, we delivered food to people in need. The garden was also an opportunity for people who were sheltered immigrants looking for asylum at the Catholic shelter. They don't knew anyone. They were isolated, and the garden was the only space for them to be out and helping and producing food for other people in need like them. The garden is small, but produce 1,600 pounds of product per season. Support 3 senior residents with weekly delivery of fresh organic product. It has a free little pantry operating 24/7. It has a community compost program and is powered by solar panels. It is a zero environmental impact project, the first of its kind in New Jersey Catholic Church. My final word is over 3.5 million invested in the community we serve in the past 4 years, includes the values of volunteers donated time, 17 community projects built on or sponsored in school, public spaces, churches, and synagogues. Our dedicated volunteers and partners have made this achievement possible since we don't have public funding. So thank you. I encourage you to learn how to grow your own food. It's very rewarding. You know the provenance of your food. It's healthy, and you can have it, within a step from your kitchen or backyard. My contact information is here. So if you have any question, you can contact me via email or visit our website for more information. The Northeast Earth Coalition is happy to support your initiative, and whatever we need to support it, just let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. That's you pack a lot in a short period of time. I do have some questions for you, though.
Sure.
Um, let's talk about the value of fighting food insecurity. I don't know that that's a huge problem where we live out here compared to where you live on the East Coast. But can you speak to that a little bit and how it might apply out here more broadly?
Well, unfortunately, where we are, there is a lot of people. We are overpopulated. New Jersey is one of the densely populated states. We are in the New York City metro area, and poverty in this part of the country, especially in this county, is one of the highest in New Jersey. Is over 30% people facing food insecurity. But if you don't have that problem, you can address the productivity or use the productivity of your garden to build community and support people in need, not necessarily because they are lacking of food, but probably the kind of food that they are eating is not the best and the healthier. And
Right.
you can start, looking around for senior residents and see, especially for low-income seniors, if they are, what they are eating, what you can do to improve the quality of life for them in these places, or just looking around for people who are poor, but they are eating, on a regular basis. But look what they are eating. and improving the diet, that is a good thing that you can do and use your products to teach people how to eat better. We combine workshop for nutritional to educate the community about nutritional values and the difference between one tomato purchased in the supermarket and the tomato that you grow at home or in the community gardens. Freshness is important because
Right.
what you're getting in the supermarket is coming from far away, and the environmental impact is incredible bad for the environment. So producing local food is important. You save money. It's very therapeutic also. So it relaxes you, it connects you with the soul, it connects you with other people, and and you are building community.
Right. So, when I first had the idea of looking for someone like you to present on community gardens, my thought was that Catholic churches out where I live would, because as I mentioned in our conversation before we started, we have a lot of real estate. A lot of places out here have plenty of room for a community garden, so it's not a matter of will, it's a matter of will rather than real estate. That being said, um, if somebody watching this gets determined to put one at their church and either their pastor or, say, a council of some sort or another says, well, why should we allow you to, use part of our property for a community garden? What are the reasons we should allow you to do this, and what's the benefit to the church? How would you respond to that?
Well, the benefit is immense. I remember somebody was opposed to community garden, and they told me, why are you not using the money that you have to create a community garden to purchase food and give the food away? And my answer was, that is not what community garden is about. Community garden is bringing people together. You are building community, new friendship. You are supporting each other. It's about mutual aid. It's having a social impact in your neighborhood. It's spreading the word from Jesus about, doing the right things in the community. It's supporting youth, and maybe if you don't support them, they are taking the wrong path. So it has so many social benefits. And then physically speaking, in terms of health, it's improving the health of people. It's also a great tool for depression. We have a lot of people suffering depression. They come to the garden because that is making them feel good. We don't question, we don't say anything, and they enjoy it. We receive everybody, even people with mental disability. They come to the garden and they do work, volunteer work for us.
That's that is that's really special. That does amplify the effect beyond just the food produced, all the other things you just really can't touch, see, or feel. Uh, you address a lot of different things with the community garden.
And let me put a,
Um,
because if you have youth in the church, sometimes whatever person is in charge of the youth, they don't have task or activity for them. Well, let's put the youth to work. Let's come to the garden and help us to grow food, to share the bounty with other people. That is a lot of fun. That is a lot of learning, and maybe they are, motivated to continue volunteer, environmental volunteer work around.
right. In preparation for our conversation, I read where you used the term a green thumb, the green thumb versus a dumb thumb. What do you mean by that?
Well, most of the people said, I don't have a green thumb. And that is, something that they are reaffirming themselves in a negative way. It's not about having a green thumb. The key to be successful in gardening is to learn, number one, and the soil, the quality of the soil. without the basic of like good soil. Everything can you put there, maybe a seed, maybe a seedling, any plants, ornamental plant. People say, "Oh, I got it," and then I kill it. No, you didn't kill it. You didn't know how to take care of the plant, number one. And number two, the quality of the soil or the kind of plants that you purchase is not what you were supposed to put in your garden. So that distinction, is clarifying for people. Well, now I need to learn something else, you know. And I remember years ago, a friend of mine from the church, she invited me to take a look to her front yard to design a garden. And I said, okay, I can go there. Went very well prepared with all the presentation and PowerPoint and with all the information. And then she hired another person, a professional, according to her, to assess her in the design of the garden. So she didn't consider me a professional, was fine. But the professional took all my ideas and then implemented the garden using all the plants that I recommend to the homeowner. Unfortunately, she didn't have the knowledge of what to put together. And 3 months later,
Wow.
half of the plants in the garden died. Why? Because she put a irrigation system and she was watering the garden every day. And the plants I suggested to them were drought tolerant and she killed it. So the lady called me back and said, you need to come back and fix the garden. And I said, okay, I will do it. And she said, well, be sure, okay, you are putting your name and your sign in front of the garden so that the other person will see the failure that she created and it cost me a lot of money. So that kind of experience is telling you need to have the knowledge about gardening and the environmental impact and what you are doing in your yard everywhere.
Could the community gardens, they don't necessarily have to be food producing. Would that be right? I mean, do you have any gardens where it's ornamentals and just for beauty, or how do you approach that?
Well, the kind of community gardens that we are creating in northern New Jersey are number one for vegetable and pollinator gardens. We use
Okay.
100% native plants. So we are creating right there immediately a habitat for birds and butterflies. Since the garden is surrounded by flowers from the outside view, from the street, it's looking a beautiful garden and colorful, and people is attracting, catching the attention of people who are passing by. At the same time, we're creating a heaven for pollinators. Remember, where we are is very urban. We are
Right?
supposedly we are suburban, but we are very urbanized. So creating green spaces is important. We have both. What we don't do is promoting the use of exotic plants in our gardens.
Okay. So just kind of you want to use things common to your area, and then of course, food producing plants is kind of your primary aim then.
Right. And let me put an example. All native vegetable from the United States is pollinated by native bees only.
Okay.
European bees don't pollinate native vegetable and products from America, because the evolution of the insect and the products went together for millions of years. So bumblebees are pollinating eggplants and other vegetables. Potatoes, they are native from America, so only native bees are pollinating them. European bee can go in and do something, but every native vegetable is pollinated by some kind of, especially native bees. So if we
Okay.
don't have native bees, our food chain is under risk.
Okay. Um, a practical question regarding a community garden at a church. So, a church gives permission to a person or group of people to go ahead and put this in place. How important is it to have? I mean, should there be one person in charge or a collective of people in charge? How do you prevent
Well,
decision paralysis and
yeah, we set the rules. Number one, we have a letter of understanding. When we are working with churches, we have a letter of understanding. In that letter, we explain our purpose, our rules. We combine church rules, and then everybody sign it from both places, from my organization and the church. The church usually, all the church for sure, across the nation, they have liability insurance. But in my case, we have our own liability insurance, and that liability insurance is endorsed to the name of the church. So if something happened during the time the volunteers are working in the garden, the church is covered and they don't need to afraid anything. There is a timing for doing work at the community garden and some schedule during the week. We are not there all the time and people are not without supervision.
okay,
Yeah. So that means that you need to set up a leader for each day that you are open more than one day. And then the leader will be overseeing the work the volunteers are doing. But at the same time, as an opportunity, as an education opportunity, you'll be educating them about how to increase productivity, sustainability, how to create pollinator gardens in the garden, the community garden, etc. The season in the Northeast, gardening season is 26 weeks of the year.
okay,
I have no clue how many weeks you have in Kansas,
right,
but that is what we have. We have extended the season because we are working very early in March, and then even in December, we are still harvesting and doing gardening in December. But that is my organization. Other gardeners
right.
are not following that.
So, would it be a best practice then if a group of people at a church out in my area wanted to put a community garden in place to sit down like now and
Mhm.
begin planning out, we're going to plant on these days and then have very specific times that we collectively get together and work in our garden rather than just periodic or haphazard. Would that, I mean, to go in with a decent plan so volunteers know what to do
Right. And
and the leaders know what to
you can use
expect.
your resources. Let's say, for example, we have in New Jersey the agricultural extension program. I don't know if you have in Kansas a similar program, and they are the people who are in charge of the Master Gardener program.
Oh,
Inviting the Master Gardener program to come to the community garden once a week or twice a week, that would be great because you have an experienced person for free. So they will be giving you service and support. That is one. You can network with the Boy Scout troops, so you have any in your community, and they can come and do volunteer work. Also, public school system, they love to do community service. So talk to them and coordinate with them. It's just creating a network of people to support your initiative.
right.
That is how we operate.
Okay. So really they could organize however it best suits them and then brings as many people into the process as
And
necessary,
then
I suppose.
creating events to attract the community because, like I said before, this is not about just community gardening and producing food. It's more than that. It's building community.
Right.
You can bring a person expert in nutrition, a nutritionist, to do the presentation about the importance of eating fresh products.
Right.
And by the whole community to your church or the community garden, and that is an education opportunity open to the public. You can also bring, like I said, Boy Scout to do some
Right, right.
Eagle Mary Batch Eagle Scout project at the garden or any other garden. They will be happy to do that. We
Yeah,
them for many reasons to the organization, and we love to work with them. So it's so many opportunity to do something positive for the community.
right. That is great, and I certainly appreciate all your expertise, Jose.
Thank
And for those watching, you could see Jose's contact information. It's been on the screen here for a while. So if you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out. And if you need my office for anything, please go to dcdiocese.org/stewardship, and my contact information is there. Jose, I appreciate your time, and I wish you the very best in your upcoming season. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Yeah, we are very excited, working hard now to have probably the most bountiful season ever.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jose, I appreciate it. Hopefully that didn't hurt too much.
No, it was great. It's a great experience. I see your enthusiasm, which is really important. Again, just let me know how I can be helpful for your initiative. I don't
Very
mind.
well.
I have different presentation. I can share my presentation with potential, leaders of the community gardens. I can
Okay.
guide potential leaders from the process, from the very beginning, how to set up a community garden to the end. We
Okay.
have all those resources for you.
Excellent. I will send you the replay when it's done, and you can share it as you see fit, and we'll go from there. And
Okay.
then, yeah, great. You have a great rest of your day, and once again, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Take care.
Okay, bye.